What you focus on grows. What you search for in life, you will find. Welcome back to the Mastering Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Matt, and today is the sixth and final episode of a series that I call Building Self-Confidence. Now, I really talk about self-confidence because that's often what people come to me for. They lost their confidence, they want to gain their confidence back so that they can excel in their performance in their game or in their life. Now, if you haven't listened to the other episodes, please do so. Go back and listen to 1 through 6. Now, today's the sixth and final one. In episode 1, we talked about a technique that I learned in narrative therapy called externalization. And I talk about where the origins of this externalizing our problems came from and how that can help to enhance your own confidence in your life. Then I dived into self-compassion research by Dr. Kristin Neff. I talked more about the underpinnings or the beginnings of where self-compassion came from and how it benefits you. Then I go into motion creates emotion. Motion creates emotion. So what does that mean? That basically means how we move our body, our motions that we create in our lives, create the momentum. So it's going to jumpstart and activate the emotions. So whatever you do with your body, it's going to determine what you feel, not the other way around. So we don't wait around for confidence to happen, and then we do something about it. We actually make it happen. We hold our body positions, we hold these power poses, do all these things to create the emotions that we want to create. Okay? Then I go into finding your essence. I got a chance to interview a previous psychotherapist who turned into a coach, a leadership coach, and we talked about a deeper desire, finding your own unique strengths and owning your own greatness. So that's episode 4. In episode 5, we talked about resilience and building more self-kindness into your life and how resilience could look very differently rather than gritting your way through and pushing your way through. It's more about self-compassion, self-kindness, and gentleness. And I give stories of actual professional athletes who apply this technique. And then lastly today, I want to keep it very basic, focusing on what you can control. Now I know it's really, really basic, right? It's something that we all know that's what we're supposed to do, but we don't do it. We often get distracted by the things that we don't have control over. Sports psychologists, mental trainers, mental coaches, we all say the same thing. Focus on what you can control because that is the only thing that you can influence. Now, if I unpack my own confidence journey, it goes like this. It's a roller coaster. There are times where I didn't feel confident at all with my performance, with my game, with my event that I'm preparing for. And there are times where I feel extremely confident, and it really is very rocky. It's a roller coaster. But the one technique that I always go back to for myself in my own journey of building self-confidence is focusing on my process. Because focusing on my process, on what's right in front of me, is something that I do have control over. Now, golfers, right? If you golf, if you're a competitive golfer, or even if you're an athlete, we all have these routines. We all have these processes that we put in place. Why? Why do we in golf have a pre-shot routine? Why do pros swear by them and stick to them and commit to them more than anything in their competitive rounds? Because it's what they can control. During an event, during a tournament, there's so many different competing thoughts, emotions, so many things outside of our control. And there's so many distractions that happen and that flood our minds every single day. But focusing on your process, focusing on your routine, and focusing on what you can control, you're going to start to build self-confidence in little chunks, little by little. You're going to start to build confidence in your life. And this is why having routines matter. So if you haven't had a routine yet in your game or in your life, whatever it is that you're wanting to build confidence with, begin by setting yourself routines that you commit to, that you can stick towards, and that you can focus on. So rather than the outcome of a shot or an outcome of a performance or a presentation or a pitch, you focus on your routines. You focus on the steps. And you focus on the things that you have direct and immediate control over right now. So an exercise I'm going to leave you with in this final episode is draw a circle. Get a piece of paper out, or you can do this later if you want, if you're driving in the car or whatever. Whenever you're listening to this episode, just remember this exercise. Draw a circle for me. Inside that circle, write the initials ME. Stands for me, but it also stands for my effort. Because your effort, whatever effort you put into within that circle, are the things that you have direct control over, right? So anything that you have control over, write that list down inside that circle. So I have control over whatever it is, my routine, my process, my tempo, my breathing. Go ahead and list as many things as you can inside that circle of the things that you have direct and an immediate influence over. Good. Now, when you're done writing that list inside that circle of the things that you do have control over, outside of that circle, write the things that you don't have control over, things that are outside of your control. All the things like my playing competitors or time. Well, we do have control over time in one sense, but we don't have control over time because no matter how much we try to stop it, it won't stop, right? Results. Yeah, you may influence the type of results that you get in your life, but ultimately, results are out of our control. We just focus on the things that we put into place to get those results. That's what we have direct influence over. Let me give you an example. If you're a golfer and you have a putt, like a 5-foot putt, you line it up perfectly, you hit the perfect stroke on it, the perfect tempo, the perfect speed, it goes towards that hole and you know you made it. It's about to go in. But at the end, it hits a ball mark or a spike mark and it kicks offline, it lips out. You may have had the perfect stroke and the perfect alignment, but the result still didn't go in the hole. Is that true? So ultimately, you may influence the result, but you don't have control over it. Focus on the things that you have direct control over. And then when you start to build those skills and those results into your life, where you start to accomplish the little things that you can influence, then confidence begins to appear. You celebrate those little victories. Once you achieve those tasks, the pre-shot routine that you commit to 100%, regardless of where the ball goes, if you commit to your pre-shot routine and you commit to your routines and your process and you successfully complete them, celebrate the win. Celebrate those and just say, yes, I did it. I got it. When you begin to do that, it builds upon each other. They stack up and your confidence organically and naturally grows and you can build that from scratch. So going back to what I do to build my own self-confidence, it's really going back to the fundamental principles of focusing on what I have control over, not the things that I don't. Because remember, what you focus on grows. What you search for, you will find. Thank you again for tuning in to the Mastering Mindset podcast. I look forward to being a part of your journey on mastering mindset.